So how is it going? It is spooky season now, Halloween. Of course, a tradition for me to watch every Halloween since I've been in high school is to watch The Crow. Not that new abomination that just came out, but of course, the 1994 uh, film starring Brendon Lee. Actually, I've been a fan of this since I was in high school. I remember I was in I played guitar for years, into rock and metal, and I took an automotive class once in high school. Went to this vocational center to do it, and there was a girl from another school. She was a kind of a goth girl I was friends with, and she asked me one day if I ever seen The Crow, and I was like, no, I haven't. She's like, no, you're a musician. You need to see The Crow right now. So I've been a big fan for years. I even got the let me see here the I was just at the comic book store and I got the special edition of the original comic book that was written by James O'Brien. So I was watching it last night and I was looking at some things, and of course one of the infamous things that happened in this movie was the death of Brendon Lee during filming. He was accidentally shot on set. So I happened to stumble across an old video explaining how he was almost done filming, and so they had to come up with ways to finish the film without him. It got most of it done. So I stumbled across this video explaining how they used, from a long time ago, explaining how they used CGI to finish those scenes. So I'm gonna jump in and react to that.
Producer Edward R. Pressman was faced with a similar problem on his film, The Crow. Although filming was nearly complete, star Brendon Lee had yet to shoot a few key scenes at the time of his tragic on-set death.
When the accident occurred, it was unbearable. And I think the first reaction was, we can't go on. But the performance itself was done, and I felt compelled to finish this work as a legacy to Brendon.
I think definitely if I died during the creating of a movie or something, I would want them to finish what I was working on.
The haunting task of digitally manufacturing Lee's remaining scenes was given to DreamQuest Images, an Oscar-winning effects shop whose credits include The Abyss and Total Recall.
Never seen The Abyss, but I have seen Total Recall. Total Recall is pretty cool.
For The Crow, one effect sequence involved adding Brendon Lee to a shot of a broken mirror. Digital effects supervisor Tim Landry had to figure out a way to distort the image in the same way as the broken glass would have. First, an unused close-up of Lee was carefully traced or rotoscoped. The isolated image was then extracted from the original shot.
We had another element called a displacement map. I painted this based on the mirror image that they gave us. And what the computer does is it tells it how much to offset.
It's pretty astonishing that they were able to do this way back in 1993 or 94. Yeah, and sometimes it seems even better than modern effects.
A given pixel. So now we've got an image that looks somewhat like it's being reflected in a shattered mirror.
The distorted image of Lee was then combined with a shot of the broken mirror, resulting in a shattering final image.
And see, I never really noticed that. I could tell when I watched the movie, and I was always wondering, because I was like, well, there were certain shots he wasn't in, and I personally never knew which ones were, so it's kind of cool to finally know.
Another difficult shot required the DreamQuest team to extract an image of Lee walking down an alley and have him walk through a doorway instead. As with the previous scene, the first step was to isolate and remove Lee from an unused shot. Since the scene was filmed in a dark, rainy alley with a handheld camera, the image had to be color-corrected and steadied. Lee's final image reflects the warmly lit interior environment.
Once again, I never knew that scene was edited that way, so it's pretty cool. They did a good job, I think, for 1994. maybe I just wasn't like paying enough attention. I was just into the movie.
So I've been working with scaling. I'm working about 0.22, both directions.
Other shots involve filming a scene with a body double for Lee, and later mapping the actor's face onto the double's body.
If I like this.
The production company had shot new footage of a body double that had...
And see, I always thought there was something a little off about that shot. I had a T-shirt with that on there, and it just looked off to me.
Had the basic same characteristics as Brandon's body. Obviously the face was different. Then digitally we removed only his face from certain scenes, certain frames, and placed that over the body double.
Like so.
So I didn't even know they had Wacom tablets way back then.
The most significant aspect of DreamQuest's work on The Crow is that most people will never notice the effects. They blend seamlessly into the film and help Brendon Lee's final performance hauntingly come to life.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. They did a real good job for, 30 years ago. And it was just such a tragedy that he, passed away. He's the son of Bruce Lee. He was really starting his career was really starting to take off, and it's just sad that he lost his life during this movie, and now it's his most famous and infamous movie. I'm a big fan. If you've never seen it, I suggest checking it out. I'm gonna probably dive into the comic book this Halloween. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you again later.